and it's coming through on the palate, and it almost entices you to drink more. Just to get it again, to get that flavor again.
Thanks a lot, Buzzard. Roost. What's the matter with you? My goodness, you're right.
I can't roost responsibly doing this. Welcome everyone to episode 87 of The Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Anthony and Steven. Hello, Anthony.
Hey, what's up, brother? You looking good? You feeling good?
I'm trying to get back to it.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, I know we were off last week, and part of the reason we were off is because both of us were kind of down and out.
Yeah, I mean, right after Thanksgiving, I think 4 of the 5 of us in the house had flu.
Yeah, as far as I know, we didn't test positive for flu, but I'm pretty sure we had it as well. And it was also corresponding with after the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Bring on that holiday cheer. I mean, AKA the sickness.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm laughing, but you look pained.
Yeah, I heard it. This one, I heard the flu shot this year is not the right strand.
Yeah, isn't that always a gamble? They always tell you that, like, you got to get...
Which is understandable.
Yeah, that's true.
They got to make a guess on it.
Yeah.
And then B, I heard it takes like a week of incubation in your body before it starts coming through. So I think it just happened to coincide with Thanksgiving.
Oh, no. So you got it thinking, like, oh, I'm protected now. Then you're like, oh, well, that's fool's gold you got in your arm.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And it was the, the Friday after Thanksgiving on Black Friday.
Oh.
And
so you was trying to go out and shop. You were probably like, I'm trying to get some deals.
I'm just trying to find a place open, a clinic that was open. I had to go to like the next county over.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the only place I could find that was open.
Dang, so if you're listening, Lexington medical providers, you did not do a good job of providing services on Black Friday.
No,
that's terrible. Well, prior to getting ill, as both of us did over the Thanksgiving holiday, preceding that, I know I was off in New Orleans for conference travel, and I think you went up to Indiana to hang out with your wife for her conference travel. Is that correct?
That is right.
Yeah, so how was your experience? Did you do any liquor shopping, or I should say liquor bourbon shopping?
I tried.
Okay. What was your... Tell me about your experience, sir.
Well, I was in Indy, and we were over, I think, on west side of the city, half mile from the downtown monument there.
Okay.
And so I was pretty much by myself while she was, working the floor and, doing dinners and stuff.
Isn't that good, though, to be kidless and also be able to hunt bourbon? And
it was.
Do whatever you want to do.
Whatever I want.
Yeah.
So I went down to like the hip area of Indy, and I went to, I think it was like the Eagle's Nest or the Eagle something.
Okay. I don't know anything about it. So
their thing is fried chicken.
Oh,
and
man.
I got a nice big piece of fried chicken. And I got their spoon bread.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was so good. I got a nice Yingling on tap.
Oh, man, I'm kind of hungry right now.
Lunch.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it was super good. And then on the way back, I hit up about, 3-4 liquor stores.
Oh, okay.
And they had some nice ones downtown. They all look like shady from the outside because they're all like, got the bars and stuff on the door. But when you go in there, most of them are like 2 levels. Like they have a cellar on most of them.
Oh, nice.
Just because they're old buildings.
Okay.
And most of them had a decent bourbon selection.
Thick panes of glass?
Most of it was behind like the counters.
Okay.
So all I did was look. But one of them, it's the one that has the Volt in it. I think it's like the Big Red or...
Yeah, I think it's Big Red Liquors.
Yeah, that one's good. That one's the Volt's downstairs. And I just found some Buffalo Trace on the shelf for a good price.
Oh, cool.
So I ended up picking up a couple bottles, and I was messaging you with a couple other options there in case you were interested.
Yeah, I saw they had some Boone County store picks, some other cool things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had some good stuff. Like I remember when you were sending me that, I was like, man, there's some good stuff there.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana, I feel like it's kind of a dark horse in terms of they have good stuff on the shelves, but people don't really know to look there because, I mean, no offense to Indiana. We got some listeners. We got a lot of listeners in Indiana. Yeah. It's the, what are you driving through Indiana for? Going to Chicago? If you're going there, like if you're going to Indy. But, that's the thing. And I had the opposite experience because I was down in New Orleans.
Yeah, I went north, you went south.
Yeah,
it was freezing and windy in my area. And how was your weather?
Oh, it was actually not that much better, to tell you the truth. Everybody in New Orleans was complaining because they said it was the coldest that had been there all season. And so we're over there thinking to myself, like, okay, this is going to be great. Like, I totally didn't pack for the occasion, but the kind of highlights that I wanted to mention were I got to go to the Sazerac house.
That's cool.
Yeah. And that was really cool. Like, I mean, I like Sazerac Rye and I like the whole idea of it. And that was just, they had the whole big wall of booze and everything with like a bunch of Sazerac BT product. But I grabbed some minis and some other things that were unique to being there. I grabbed some merch that was pretty cool. The whole experience, it's sad that I can say this, that was my first time being in New Orleans. You ever been there?
I have not.
Oh, man. New Orleans is unique. Like, I got to tell you this story. So the one night I went to this pretty rockin' party. So we go to academic conference. Some of these schools host really cool parties. And one of the cool offsite parties was Syracuse University. So big shout out to them. They did an awesome job. I'm walking back from Syracuse's party. And you know me, I'm always wearing my nice shoes and stuff like that. So I had on some Jordans, and this group of guys is approaching me drinking Hurricanes and stuff. And they're like, the guy says, "Hey, man, nice shoes." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." He said, "Hey, don't get too comfortable." And I was like, what? I was just like, what in the world are you talking about? Like, it was just, it was one of those things where I'm like, is he complimenting me or am I going to get beat up here on the street? So that's kind of like my New Orleans experience. And I know we got a lot of listeners in Louisiana as well. And the one thing that I have to say, leaving New Orleans, which was really cool, was I think it's called zydeco music. It's like a mixture of like
funny side story.
Oh,
when I was in elementary school,
yeah,
there was one of the teachers there that had a zydeco band.
Really?
And like they played the elementary school with like their spoons and like their everything. And I was like, yeah.
No, I had maybe I'm living under a rock, and if I am, then people can accuse me of such. But like I grew a really strong affinity in the 4 days that I was in New Orleans for zydeco music, and I'm still listening to it right now, being back over here in Kentucky, and I love it. I think it's amazing. It's like a French Creole, Afro-inspired kind of music, and it's amazing. And so I was like, yeah, there might be video of me on some closed circuit television dancing around one of the places late at night to some zydeco music. So guilty as charged.
That's funny. So Anthony, we didn't have any new reviews this week, but we did have one that revised theirs.
Yeah, no doubt. So
I think they updated it.
Yeah,
I like the update.
I think this is an update. We like the update. So if you do want to update your review, please go ahead and do that. And so the reason I know who this is coming from is because it's a buddy of mine that I went to college with in Northeast Ohio, Austin. And so even though he's a buddy, I still think it's heartfelt because he didn't tell me he submitted this until after we saw it. But he said, "The Mashup is my favorite podcast out there. Not that I listen to a ton of others." Good job.
Good start.
Yeah. However, these guys are awesome, and there's no need to search further. Not only do they review bottles that I can get, but bottles that I also have. They are down to earth, extremely entertaining, and very knowledgeable. I have taken their recommendations many times, from the Maker's Mark Cast Strength to the Thomas More Cabernet and the Penelope Barrel Strength. I've never been disappointed. Love that they also talk about things I'm involved in, like Fireball, where I have a 7-page spreadsheet. Oh my God, come on, Austin. He said, give them a listen. You won't be disappointed.
So 7 page. So this everywhere he's drank Fireball?
Yeah, I know. I think he's talking about the fireballs like that he participates in, like the ones where you're like, not Fireball
not
drink, the Fireball, the midday, the evening fireballs, and he's keeping a spreadsheet of his numbers and the things that he's playing and stuff. And to his credit, I think he's won some big bottles. He's shared with me he's won some pretty nice bottles too.
I wonder if he's, he won't play certain numbers like I know some people don't do.
Yeah,
even though they all have the same chance.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, right? They theoretically all have the same chance, but it doesn't make any sense when you look at those fireballs like you're looking at past histories and trying to make decisions.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Austin. And if anyone else wants a shout out, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And next time we record, we'll give you a shout out. So, Anthony, I'm glad Austin said we review bottles that people can get. This might go off the rail a little bit tonight.
You never know.
Yeah. So tonight we have a bottle of Buzzard Roost Straight Rye Whiskey, but this is the Cigar Rye variant.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So this is actually distilled in the factory in Indiana, the MGPI, but it's bottled by Buzzard Roost Spirits, which is out of Louisville, Kentucky. The bottle date is 2022. ABV is 52.5. The proof is 105. This is non-age stated. Since this comes to us from MGP, I'm assuming the mash bill is probably 95.5, so 95 rye, 5% malted barley. And the MSRP on this, now I have to give a disclaimer, the Liquor Barn pick, so it's a local store here, it was $86.99 was the MSRP plus tax.
So that's the pick price. So what do you think a non-pick price would be on this?
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure because I think they're a pretty small outfit. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if they're doing a lot of mainstream releases.
Okay.
That aren't picks and things like that.
Picks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right off the bat, it reminds me of a wine bottle.
Yeah, like so much so that like I'm not going to lie, the first time I saw this sitting on a counter, not this exact bottle, but anything from Buzzard's Roost, I thought to myself, that's like a wine, a special allocated wine. It's not. Yeah. It's not a bourbon. We've seen bourbon in wine bottles before, but this is like it looks very much like wine.
I mean, it's got these standard, rectangle stickers as a wine bottle, but it almost reminds me of the color scheme they used of an old Carter.
Oh yeah, it does. You're right.
Like with with the manila and the different tones of blues and the gray.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it almost looks like this is going to be a weird thing to say about a bourbon bottle, but it like almost struck me as like an old novel. I'm looking at it like this reminds me of a book.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
I'm like, there's a nondescript bird on the front trying to land on a branch, and it kind of looks like nothing really stands out, and it just looks like an old hardbound book.
And what's cool about the Buzzard, you brought it up, is it's actually raised.
Oh, really?
On the label. That. Yeah, it's got some texture to it. We'll call him Braille the Buzzard. Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually a nice looking bottle. The other thing I wanted to mention is the store pick sticker on here is massive. Like it's got to be double or triple the size of like a regular Buffalo Trace for reference.
I was the same thing.
It's like a gold foil and it's got that Liquor Barn logo, and it's massive.
I wonder if Buffalo Trace running a special that for like other people to buy, and the rejects like, this is too big, and
it's too big of a label.
Just like picked it. I was like, we'll pick them up over here.
We'll put it on.
Yeah,
we'll put it on some Buzzard Roost picks. Yeah. So no, it's funny, and I will mention this on the back. It says Buzzard Roost sipping whiskeys, but it says here at Buzzard Roost, our innovative approach to maturation allows us to deliver unique flavor profiles into our whiskeys. And then it just says to relax and roost a while.
Roost.
Right? Yeah. We hope you will enjoy this expression of Buzzard's Roost. It says that I want you to roost over their nicely finished rye.
I think sipping this, we're definitely going to have to roost over it.
You think so?
Because this is a very interesting rye, a cigar rye.
That's the thing. When I saw it in the store, I was like, what in the heck am I going to do with a cigar rye? So this bottle was actually recommended to me by a buddy. And I had never heard of Buzzard's Roost before. Like you mentioned to me, you had seen it. When did you see it?
I had to go to physical therapy in town, across town, and it was in the morning, so I would swing into the local liquor store near the physical therapy place.
Okay.
And I remember seeing this on the counter about a year ago, this brand.
Yeah.
And thinking, man, what is this?
Okay. So that was about a year. I was going to say year and a half. That can't be more than, that's probably the time they started to hit the market here. And so I went to their website prior to us recording tonight, and the first thing I saw was a graphic of a bottle of their whiskey being poured, and there was a statement that said "sip and roost a while."
Oh,
so I was like, "That's an interesting slogan, sip and roost a while." And then they had how they have like most brands have a drinking responsibility statement, like. Heaven Hill has one. I can't remember what they are now.
Please drink responsibly.
Please drink responsibly, something like that. Their drinking responsibility statement is live slowly, roost responsibly. I love this.
But nothing about drinking.
Yeah, right. It's there's just a ton of roosting going on here.
There is.
Yeah, so I was I don't know how I felt about that, but I was going to say, do you know anything about how this brand was started or how it was founded?
All I know is from when I saw a year ago, I think it was created out of Louisville.
Yeah, 100%. You're right. But yeah, so this guy, Jason Brauner in Louisville, he actually started a Bourbon's Bistro. Have you ever been there? I've never been there. It's a restaurant.
That on the Strip?
I'm not sure. I've never been there.
I know
I've
several
never been
bourbon
there.
places that have picks, and I forgot the names of them.
Okay, well, this guy, he started Bourbon's Bistro back in Louisville in 2005, and according to their website, according to what I've listened to and heard, he basically was doing a lot of good store picks, like people have the opportunity to do, which bless them.
Yeah.
And thought to himself, why not create my own whiskey company? And so he brings a lot of experience into the pick process. Thought to himself, like, I'm going to start doing some stuff here,
It's brave.
Yeah, it is. It's brave.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, especially since, no offense to you, Jason, when I saw your bottle in the store, I was like, that's not even bourbon. That's just some weird mead or a nice wine that I could buy. I didn't even realize it was bourbon. I just kind of ignored it when I saw it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we go for our first notes?
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, it's quite a nose.
I mean, I can I see where the cigar rye is coming from.
Oh, yeah? What are you getting, some cigar notes there?
And I'm getting that like tobacco leaf with the spicy rye.
Well, it's interesting that you would say anything about tobacco leaf because apparently when I looked up how they make this cigar rye,
I'm really interested.
It says that they use oak barrels that were cold smoked with aged cigar tobacco
There's a new
leaves.
one I haven't heard before.
Yeah, from Kentucky. What's cold smoked mean?
I don't know.
How do you cold smoke something? Maybe you put ice cubes in there. I don't know. Maybe there's like liquid nitrogen involved.
Maybe you might be right.
I mean, I don't know. But they cold smoke these cigar leaves, and they claim that cigar rye holds notes of cigar tobacco, citrus, and candy, and molasses, and sweetness.
Is the barrel charred at this point, or they're smoking it?
I don't know, but if they put the leaves inside of it,
okay. If they make the barrel cold, it would open it up.
Ah, that makes sense.
So maybe if they smoke it with the tobacco,
why are you so smart?
It gets into the barrel wood more.
That might be it.
I'm just guessing.
So that tobacco leaf is definitely. Are you getting it?
Yeah, I am.
I'm getting that. I'm getting a little bit of spruce.
Oh yeah,
a little blue spruce, evergreen. It's actually a really pleasant nose. Are you picking up any ethanol?
Not really. It's almost like a yin and yang nosing.
Okay.
Like on the front, real quick, you got this real familiar sweetness.
Yeah.
Real sweetness. And then it quickly goes away and it turns into this, kind of familiar rye spice.
Okay.
But then it kind of goes into that cigar note that's on the label.
Yeah, like what would we consider that? Be like a cognac tobacco smoke?
Kind of.
That's really like that's astute.
And so like,
I never used that word. That's a nice, I've used it, but that's like a really nice way of putting it. It's
so
really,
it's almost like at first maybe it's off-putting, but then you kind of go back to it for the, kind of go back and nose it more because it's familiar with the sweetness. And then you get hit with the cigar. And so it's kind of this interesting balance.
Yeah.
Of sweet and cigar spice.
I agree.
On the nose.
Dang. That's actually like, I think you've captured it perfectly. And it's just nosing this is really nice. It's got a lot of stuff going on.
It's almost like if the cigar like is off-putting, I might just repeat myself, but like you nose it again because it's bringing you in.
Yeah.
With the sweetness on the initial nosing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt. There's not many cigars that you take the first pull off of, even though I've admittedly said I'm not a cigar smoker, big one anyway.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, that first pull was good. You're usually coughing, trying to figure it out. Like,
yeah. And it provides this like interesting new dynamic of a nose.
Yeah. Because
of the cigar rye.
Oh, no doubt.
It's very surprising.
I think so too. Like I'm excited to taste it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go for the taste here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just dive into this today.
Sounds good, man. I'm excited about that. Wow. I'm getting the pininess. I'm getting the rye spice. I'm getting all that. But on the finish, I'm getting a lot of bold flavors, like a little bit of char, a little bit of
get spice.
Spice.
Yeah.
When you're describing that, how do you describe it? Would you describe it as I would describe it as like a well-aged or like a well-smoked flavor. Like a very rich flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's balanced.
Yeah. Balanced. Very, very balanced.
I know I already said that, but it seems very balanced with this kids and their new flavors, cigar rye.
Yeah. What is that like a really strong tobacco finish? Are you getting like a really strong tobacco finish?
I think after you swallow it, I'm getting it on the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
like the cigar,
So you're getting
the
the
tobacco
front of the
leaf.
palate.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting the sweetness up front, and I'm getting like a cigar flavor on the back end. But I think that like kind of indicative of what they're going for here which is we're definitely getting like flavors of char, ash, mixed with the spice of the rye, and it's very vibrant. It's not.
Yeah.
The thing that
It's good.
the thing I'm getting is like a lot of times you get a bitter astringency from certain finishes, from the oak and things like that, or something that kind of puts you off. This is like, I'm not catching any notes that are putting me off here. Like, I feel like this is crushable. Are you getting anything astringent here?
No, but just to go back to it, it's like they put so much like of the cigar notes into it.
Yeah.
And it's coming through on the palate, and it almost entices you to drink more just to get it again, to get that flavor again.
Thanks a lot, Buzzard. Roost. What's the matter with you? My goodness, you're right.
I can't roost responsibly doing this.
Hey, you got to get up on your perch, goddammit. You got to get up there. You got to take it easy. And the finish is pretty medium to long, I would say. I mean, medium, not long, medium. But it's nice.
Yeah, I almost get like it's going to sound weird. I just got like an orange old-fashioned taste.
No, that's not weird at all. They describe their own notes as citrus. So
okay, yeah.
If you grab the orange old fashioned, I get the zest.
Yep.
Yeah, I also get the orange zest.
It's like super bright for a moment.
Yes, and then it's a little bit tannic, a little bit bitter.
Yeah,
but it's like it's good. It's kind of like what you're looking for, you know.
I can't imagine cigar ryes their only bottle here.
Oh no! Yeah, they have like some stuff, man. So in doing my research on them, I realized that really quickly they have a very big portfolio, and they actually have like some awards. So I guess in the last year or two, they've done San Francisco World Spirits, and they've gotten some double golds and things like that, which is pretty cool. So they need to hang some medals. Hey, if you're listening, hang some medals off your bottle.
There you go.
Just kidding. So some of their other products include things like their regular single barrel rye, barrel strength rye, peated rye, toasted rye, char number 1 rye, and then they also have bourbon. So they have barrel strength bourbon, toasted French and American oak bourbon, and they have char number 1 bourbon. So they got quite a profile going on.
Char number 1, that's interesting.
I know, because I mean we're used to hearing about char 3 and 4, the alligator char.
Yeah,
and so who knows what that's about? Like all I have to say is when I think about them compared to other people that are sourcing MGP bourbon, it seems like they're doing something unique. Mm-hmm. Like more so than the run-of-the-mill stuff that we see all the time. Like with, I don't want to mention other companies, but you guys know in this podcast, you listen to it, there's a lot of MGP distillate out there. And so they're an MGP distillate sourcer, but it seems like the things that they're doing are pretty unique.
I mean, that's interesting. They have a peated one, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Steven's not excited about your peated rye.
But
they actually use barrels from Scotland.
Several ryes.
Yeah.
It's almost their portfolio is almost majority rye.
I will go on record as saying this. I think that MGP rye at the 2 to 6 year range is much better than the bourbon at the 2 to 6 year range. So
that's why.
Yeah, if I was a company that was looking to do some innovative stuff with MGP, I would be looking at their rye, not their bourbon, because their bourbon is just too volatile. I've had a couple, like I've said in past episodes, that are really good at the 6 and 7 year mark, and like one at 5, but that's very few and far between. Their rye is much more palatable at a younger age.
So Anthony, would you pass, try, or buy on the Buzzard Roost Cigar Rye?
I'm actually a little bit torn on this. The only reason I'm torn is because of the price. $86.99 plus tax at $92 a bottle. That gets a little bit close in modern bourbon standards to me saying, too expensive. However, with that being said, when I purchased this bottle, I was like, there's nothing that's going to impress me about this. And I ended up being pleasantly surprised tonight.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I will just share this since we're talking about this. I took this bottle unopened to my holiday party that I hosted for my academic department. It got opened, and people were drinking it, and they said they liked it consistently.
Nice.
I put 5 different bourbons out, including Weller 12 and others. people kept coming back to this and saying, that's got a really nice flavor. And so I didn't even drink a lot of it. This was just a couple nights ago. I brought it here so we could review it. And I do think it's got the potential. And so I'm actually going to be a buy.
Well, that's... I'm glad the buzz at your party was all the rave about this.
The buzz, the Buzzard's Roost, the buzz. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Play on words.
I am very surprised about this product.
Ooh. We got Steven surprised.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Alarmy.
I didn't know how I was going to feel about a cigar tobacco forward rye.
Yeah.
But they did it in such a way that it kept me intrigued to keep sipping it.
Yeah.
And by the end of this, I've really enjoyed it. And I think it's super unique.
I agree.
So I think I'm going to be a buy.
Whoa, we got a 2 for 2?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing, especially because we're pretty harsh on people that are, I would say, like, okay, who are we? But we're harsh on people that got new distillate and they're doing things.
Well, this is not a casking. So we know they're not trying to hide something.
Yeah.
And they did it to where, like, it was subtle but still pronounced.
Yeah.
And enjoyable to drink. Even if you're worried you weren't going to like that flavor profile of a cigar tobacco leaf. And so I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm listen.
And if I see another one of their products, I might probably just pick it up.
I agree with you 100%, and I'm actually kind of I'm not going to say I'm shocked because I know sometimes we diverge on our opinions, but I really didn't know how you'd feel about this, and I'm like, hey, I mean that's really cool that you like it and I like it, and
just take another sip. It's like there's a hint of sweetness, there's a hint of spice from the rye, and there's like a hint of the tobacco. It's like
a nice cognac flavored, like imagine like having like a cigar with a glass of cognac and you're having a puff and a sip. Mm-hmm. It's just really nice. It feels really good. Yeah. So real quickly, I will just say this. I know we pride ourselves on things that are available. Right now, this product is only available in Kentucky, Massachusetts, Ohio, New Mexico, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Alberta, Canada, interestingly enough. I do think that even though it's available in limited markets, some people should be seeking it out. What do you think?
I always find it interesting on what markets they decide to go.
I know. Like, where's Alberta, Canada come in?
I mean, my ignorance. I mean, New Mexico seems very low population. And like it's just an interesting market to enter.
It does. Maybe there's just
unless it's financially there's no hits and going into some of these places, but it's interesting. Well, it seems like you can get it throughout the country. It may not be in your state, but it might be bordering you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good.
Yeah. And I'm sure some of these places might ship it to you too, because shipping laws are getting relaxed every other day. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, wherever you choose to roost in the evening, wherever you like lay your head or wherever you're deciding to rest, make sure you get a bottle of this, because I think it's something that you might be impressed with.
And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY. Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.